Hi, everyone. This is the Monitor Respond Group's 15.3 kickoff. I'm Kevin Chu. I'm the product manager for the Monitor Respond Group, and I'm joined by Amelia, who is the product designer on the team. So what are we doing in 15.3? So over the last few milestones, ever since 15.0, we've been doing a lot of cleanup on a bunch of different areas of the code base that the Respond group is responsible for. So in 15.2, we removed the code for our old style metrics and logging capabilities. So they're no longer part of the GitLab code base going forward. So in this milestone, in 15.3 coming up, we are actually doing a bunch of feature work, that dovetails from the incident timeline MVC that we're launching in 15.2. So the first capability that we're adding is the ability to edit an existing timeline item. So in the MVC, you can add or delete, but in this follow-up iteration, we'll be adding the ability for users to edit a pre-existing timeline event. And beyond editing, we're going to add an ability to add timeline events directly from comments. So during a firefight where incident responders are busy trying to resolve the issue, sometimes people may be adding a comment into the issue that's actually really important, such as, hey, we discovered what went wrong. That's an important point in time to capture. So we're going to add the ability to let a user, sorry, I'm showing the wrong thing. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm showing the right thing. So we're adding a new icon here in a comment. It's a little clock. Once you click on the clock, the comment gets added to the timeline. So we'll notify the user directly close to the place where they click the button. And once it's added, you'll have important information as to who made the comment, when it happened, and obviously the comment itself. So we think this is going to be really, really useful to help facilitate incident responders to capture the most pertinent issues or notes within the incident timeline. Next up, we're also going to be adding a brand new feature that we're calling the Links Widget. As you can imagine in a firefight, there are lots of things going on. There may also be lots of resources available to the team. So for example, a Slack channel where the incident is being discussed is something you want quick access to. Similarly, the Zoom call that all of your responders are talking in, that might be a place you want to highlight. Beyond that, your Grafana dashboard, a specific link to your monitoring tool, a notes document where you're keeping track of what you discovered. These are all important things that you want to have quick access to during the incident. So to facilitate that, we're adding this, step back a few. There's this new links resources widget. So you can add a new one, adding the appropriate text and the link, and it's going to show up so that other participants in the incidents can get quick access to it. The last thing I'm going to show you is the thing I'm most excited about, is a feature we're calling incident tags. So the whole point of having an incident timeline is to capture the pertinent information so people have a baseline for discussions, to make improvements upon, to figure out what went wrong going forward. And one of the problems that we realized is the only timestamps beyond like when people add a specific other comments that shows up on the incident timeline is when the incident issue is created and closed. However, this doesn't necessarily match to when the incident actually started and when the incident actually ended. And beyond that, there are also other important timestamps you might want to record, such as when uh, when the team is engaged to start resolving the incident, when the incident impact is actually mitigated. These are important timestamps that enables the incident response team to capture how long something took, what improvements they can make based on how they responded in the past. So we're adding this feature called incident tags that allows you to do that. So when you're creating an incident, you'll notice that we'll be adding in this new event type dropdown. For the MVC, we're only starting with start and end of the incident, as you can see here. And then we'll be adding more to this capability in the future. And then, of course, you can also add a comment. And once added, it shows up on the timeline, ordered by chronologically. And then it has a special little UI treatment to indicate that this is a specific thing that's tagged. And with this data, we can do all manners of things going forward, from calculating how long incidents took, how long response took. We can calculate things like mean time to resolution across a bunch of instances once we have this data. It's going to be a really powerful feature that we hope to leverage going forward. And really excited that we'll be shipping the MVC. And with that, I'll turn it over to Amelia to share what we have planned for design work.
Sure. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we're going to look at for design. Mostly we're going to be digging into how to improve our integration with Slack for incident management. We do have some capabilities and some integrations with Slack currently, but our SRE team has their own Slack app currently called Woodhouse. And the ecosystem team is also improving the GitLab Slack app. So the last milestone, we spent some time digging into what it would look like if we kind of ported some of the existing Woodhouse features into the newly updated GitLab Slack app. With the goal being to have a more robust Slack to GitLab integration for incident responders. And we have decided that there's kind of three main updates that we would like to make, which are to a place to define Slack notification settings for incidents, because right now all notifications for incidents are just notifications for issues. So you can't separate the notifications at all currently. A way to declare an incident from Slack and include important additional details for incidents like severity and things like that directly from Slack. And then a way to keep content synced up between GitLab and Slack, because conversations are often happening both in Slack and on the GitLab issue or incident issue. So we need to make sure that we can keep the content synced up so that the incident can remain the single source of truth. So we're going to kind of tackle the first two parts of this. Last milestone, I made some rough wireframes for how all of these things could look, and I'm going to try to focus on creating higher fidelity designs, but introducing incident-specific Slack notifications is going to be the first part of that I'll look at. And this is just a rough wireframe, but if we separate out the notifications for incidents, people can define specific channel to receive all of the notifications for incidents. So they don't have to have all updates about all issues. They can just have incident specific notifications. And then we can perhaps introduce things like the ability to create a new Slack channel for each new incident declared and things like that. If we have incident settings separate from issue settings. And the other thing we're going to start looking at is how to open and close incidents from Slack. Right now, you can create an issue from Slack, but you can't create an incident specifically. And it would be helpful to be able to create an incident specifically because there's different data that teams need to populate an incident with specifically. So, if we introduce a / command, again, this is just a rough wireframe to create a new incident, then we can kind of capture some of that data like severity and service and things like that. And these are the kinds of functionalities that are already in Woodhouse that our own SRE team is using, but it's actually making them available to everyone outside, to everyone else who is using Slack for incident management. So I think that's it from me.
Awesome. Thank you, Amelia. And thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.